news now. This is WTWO News at 11.
And thanks for watching our late news. New developments tonight about a controversial issue. One of the two challenges to the state's near total abortion ban was in court today. The ban went into effect on Thursday. The only exceptions for abortion include rape and incest up to 10 weeks gestation. Also, exceptions are made in cases of lethal fetal anomaly or a threat to the mother's health. The law also requires abortions to be done in a hospital or an outpatient clinic. Kristen Eskow was in Bloomington today and has the very latest.
It's the first of two lawsuits filed to block Indiana's near-total ban on abortion. The suit argues it's a right to privacy violation under the Indiana Constitution. Ken Falk of the ACLU is representing the abortion providers who brought the suit.
Women have a right to privacy that includes abortion rights.
Falk argues that's protected since the Indiana Constitution gives people the right to liberty.
The illustration I gave was the right to have as many children as we want, and we would react against that if the state tried to take that from us by saying you're invading our privacy rights.
Indiana Solicitor General Tom Fisher disagrees, saying the Indiana Constitution does not specifically mention the right to privacy.
Abortion was never understood to be a right secured to the people, either a common law or under the Constitution.
In the courtroom, the judge asked Fisher whether there's anything that would limit the legislature's ability to ban oral contraception. Fisher argues that's a different question than the one at the center of the lawsuit.
We always have to ask, what is the legitimate purpose of the legislation, no matter what we're talking about? And with abortion, it's clear. The purpose of the legislation, which is not only legitimate but compelling, is to save human lives.
Reporting in Bloomington, I'm Kristen Eskow.
As for the next steps, Special Judge Kelsey Hanlon will now consider whether to issue a preliminary injunction and put a temporary hold on the law. She didn't provide a timeline for when that could happen, but said she would do it expeditiously. This morning, Vigo County schools began 2 hours late. It was so teachers could take part in online training through a program called ALICE. The training takes 2 hours and is meant to defend against armed intruders at schools. Those involved say 2 additional hours of in-person training will take place over the next several weeks.
We want to provide those strategies for our staff so they'll be more aware and have more tools in their toolbox in case something like this type of incident happens. We want to be fully prepared and prepare our staff for that.
Now, those involved hope to have the training fully completed in every Vigo County school by the end of November. A Terre Haute man appeared in court today on charges of attempted murder. It's in connection to a shooting that happened on August 21st at Willow Crossing. That's an apartment complex just south of Terre Haute. It's formerly known as Garden Quarter Apartments. According to court documents, 40-year-old John Bell is accused of shooting 3 of his neighbors whose apartment was across the hall from his. Authorities say one person suffered serious injuries in the shooting and 2 others had non-life-threatening injuries. Court documents say authorities were unable to find Bell the night of the shooting. Then last Monday, Bell was arrested in Chicago by U.S. Marshals. He was taken to the Cook County Jail and then extradited to Indiana. He now faces several charges, including attempted murder and aggravated battery. An IU student was killed this weekend in Bloomington after police say he was hit by a vehicle. It happened early Sunday morning. Police say a car hit someone riding an electric scooter and then drove away from the scene. The student, identified as 20-year-old Nathaniel Stratton of Miramar Lakes, Florida, was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police later identified the driver of the vehicle as 22-year-old Madeline Howard of Crown Point. She was found and taken into custody. Police say she faces charges of operating a vehicle while intoxicated, resulting in death, and leaving the scene of an accident. A man was seriously hurt in a motorcycle crash Saturday in Park County. It happened on US 41 near Sugar Mill Creek Bridge, north of State Road 47. Park County Sheriff's Office says a southbound motorcycle left the road and lost control on loose gravel on the shoulder. The motorcyclist, identified as 63-year-old Dean Eastman of Bradley, Illinois, was thrown from the vehicle. The sheriff's office says he was flown to the hospital with a severe head injury. His condition is unknown at this time. Authorities have identified the person killed in a train versus vehicle crash that happened Friday night in southern Vigo County. The railroad crossing is located at Doberman Street, just south of Gross Road. The driver of the vehicle was killed in the crash. Today, the Vigo County Sheriff's Office identified the driver as 81-year-old Kenneth Hopley of Terre Haute. No one else was in the vehicle. The cause of that crash is also under investigation. The funeral of Queen Elizabeth II was a historic and somber event. It captured the hearts of people not just in the UK, but all around the world. News Nation's Katie Corrado reports from London.
Good evening. It is a quiet night here in London after a very busy and emotional day filled with pomp and circumstance. A funeral truly fit for a queen, marking the end of an era and a final farewell to Her Majesty. The Royal Navy sailors pulled a carriage carrying Queen Elizabeth's coffin to Westminster Abbey for her funeral. The same carriage was used for the Queen's father, King George VI. Right behind it was King Charles III and other members of the royal family marching to the service where they would say their final goodbyes. The royal family and more than 2,000 guests filled the centuries-old church to honor the late Queen, who served the monarch for an unprecedented 70 years, dying at the age of 96.
The grief of this day, felt not only by the late Queen's family, but all round the nation, the Commonwealth and the world, arises from her abundant life and loving service.
Queen Elizabeth planned her funeral down to the smallest detail. Her coffin adorned with the royal crown and orb, symbols of the monarchy's power, and a scepter used in coronation since 1661. The service ended with 2 minutes of silence across the nation and the national anthem, God Save the King. Generations of the royal family looked on as the Queen's coffin was placed in the hearse that carried her to her final resting place. Bagpipes played for more than an hour as the funeral procession passed through the historic heart of London, where people lined the streets to say their final goodbyes.
Very privileged and honored to be here, to be part of this. I have English heritage, so this really meant a lot.
We travelled down this morning from Yorkshire, which is a couple of hours on train, and then we've run through Hyde Park to get here, so we thought we wouldn't be able to see anything, so it was just nice to see a car pass by.
That's a big moment in history, isn't it? I tell my kids about it when I'm older, so yeah.
And then a final intimate service for the Queen at St. George's Chapel before her body was lowered into the tomb where she will be laid to rest next to her late husband, Prince Philip. And Prince Philip's coffin will be moved so that it is next to Queen Elizabeth II's, his beloved wife of 73 years. Reporting in London, I'm Katie Corrado. Back to you.
All right, well, back here in Indiana, a Richmond police officer who was shot last month has died. Today, the Richmond Police Department announced that Officer Sierra Burton died Sunday night. Now, this is video of a procession this afternoon as she was brought back to Indiana from Dayton. Burton was taken off life support on September 1st after being critically injured when she was shot during a traffic stop. The Richmond Police Department says it's grateful for the support of the community during this time and asks people to help honor and remember Officer Burton. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb released a statement saying, in part, our hearts are heavy as we grieve alongside Officer Sierra Burton's family, colleagues, loved ones, and the Richmond community she so nobly served. Officer Burton dedicated 4 years and her life to the Richmond Police Department and lived the oath she took to serve and protect to the fullest. With harvest season just around the corner, farmers are gearing up for what some say could be a successful yield. Despite extreme weather and inflation over the summer, farmers are optimistic about this harvest season. Terry Craig caught up with 2 local farmers and joins us now with more.
Harvest season is an exciting time for farmers. As preparations continue, those who I spoke with say that they're feeling positive about the potential yields.
Harvest is the time of year for a farmer that is just, it's a time you love.
After dealing with extreme weather conditions and record high inflation during the summer, farmers are gearing up for what could be a good harvest season.
A dry June really for us in this and on our tighter clay soils is usually a good thing, and it worked out in our favor.
The price of equipment, fertilizer, and fuel are still high. the need for a good yield to offset cost is vital for farmers.
Fortunately, the grain prices are up right now at this point in time, so we hope they hold to help offset some of this increase from our inputs.
Our inputs are really going up, and you know, it's critical that you raise good crops and you don't stumble.
Looking ahead to next year, Wilson says that inflation over the summer could have an even greater impact on the farming season in 2023.
The future, you know, like everyone else, costs next year are staggering.
For this harvest season, Berberink says he's hopeful for some warmer, dry weather for a successful yield.
It'd be all right with us, most of us farmers now, if it wouldn't rain until we get the crop, you know, in the bins. So, yeah, it could turn off dry now for a couple months and about 80 degrees, and we'd all be happy.
Berberink reminds drivers to be mindful as more and more farm equipment will be hitting the roads in the coming weeks.
All right, thank you, Terry. Well, coming up, we'll have details about an investigation into a series of suspicious fires in the town of Shelburne. Later in sports, Grant drops by to announce the Play of the Night winner for week number 5 of the high school football season. We don't want to miss that, so stick around.